everybody, Anna with Adventures with Anna, and it's time for Yarn Talk. I do have some new things this week. I do have some finished objects this week. I do have a new project this week. I do have several empty project bags. I don't think I really had this many projects going. 2 of these came with some of my new items, so technically I really only have 2, maybe 3 empty project bags. But anyway, I have bags that I can put projects in. I'm so excited. First off, thank you guys for watching. Welcome to my new subscribers, and welcome back to my old subscribers. Not really old subscribers. Welcome back to everybody. I'm glad you're here. If you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on Instagram, Ravelry, and Twitter. I am the Smelly Lady. The links are down below in the description box. Check out my Etsy store. The link is in the description box below. And also check out my husband's personal self-defense and security website. The link is in the description box below. I think that's everything. Oh, and one more thing. This coming up Friday, or maybe it's Saturday, it's the 18th, is the last day to enter for my 500 subscriber giveaway. I will put a link to that in the description box below, or if you just want to go down a few videos, I put that up about 2 weeks ago. So don't forget about that. And I just seen Fuzzy. Hi, Fuzzy. Fuzzy likes coming back here. I'm in the craft room. Did you guys notice? I'm in the craft room. So, what do we want to do first? Finish objects, or do we want to go with new? Let's go with finished objects first. First thing that I finished this past week, if you remember last week, I was working on a twiddle muff or a sensory muff for my sister. I started it on the knitting loom, and I showed you last week it was still on the loom. I did already give that to my sister, but I did a video clip of showing it, so I will insert that here and let you guys see that. And I think it's totally awesome. My sister loves it, and she said her bus kids are going to love it as well. So here's that little clip that I made earlier, or later the end of last week, before I gave it to my sister. Alright guys, real quick, like, before I have to give this to my sister, I promised her another twiddle muff. If you've seen my Monday video, I was showing you that I started it on one of those little knitting looms that I have. I finished it up this week, and she will be down this weekend to pick it up this week, meaning the same week that I showed you in the video. So this clip will be inserted into my Monday video because I won't actually have this to show you on Monday. But anyway, this is my finished project. The fish and the octopus, the little fish and the octopus, were my sister's ideas to put on here. She is a bus para for special children, I'll just put it that way. Most of them are mentally challenged. But anyway, what I did was I used all this yarn that I had, and I knitted it in a long strip, and then I folded it on itself so that you can actually, I don't know how well this will work with this camera, actually stick your hand in it like this. A few of the features, which it actually has crochet on it too. The top here is crocheted. I crocheted the 2 edges together. I used strings to attach, or yarn to attach the fish to these, because she wanted everything attached so that she didn't lose anything, or the kids couldn't run off with something or whatever. So I attached them to these, and I actually made the strings, the drawstrings for the top. So we can take this, we can actually close the top, kind of gives it an interesting shape, and then we can play with the little octopus, which it is actually, probably doesn't look correctly because of my lighting, but it is a neon orange, which it is actually made from some of the yarn that I got from my uncle that passed away last October. Little special piece of our heart. And the fish, which I've showed you these before. I've made one that I made here a while back. And then on the twiddle muff itself, like I said, on the inside there's nothing. There is a few texture areas. There's a couple knots to play with. where the yarn was tied together. But for the most part, the inside is just empty, and you can, you know, put the fish or the octopus down inside, whatever. Octopus kind of don't really fit. But I also used some beads and some buttons. I got this really cool gold button, and I crocheted a little chain and put some beads on it that they could slide around and then play with the little ends on it. Really cool feature that I really like is I found this little buckle for a belt, and I took the little metal piece off of it, so it's just a little, you know, with a buckle without the little piece of metal. But I made a little band, put it on here so that you can slide this back and forth. Or, you know, you could stick your hand under there. There's plenty of room. That's what's on that side. And on this side, this thing's warm. I crocheted another little band, and I used 3 buttons. They're different. This one's kind of pearly. This one's got a cool little design on it with a little pearly underneath of it. This one's just a solid silver one with a design. This little band can be buttoned anywhere on these 3. It'll go to either 3 of them and fit over. Or I've got this really nifty, cool rose-like button here in the middle that's hiding under the band until you undo it. But you could also put that button on. Let's see if I can do it one-handed, because I don't want to take it off my hand. There we go. You can also put that on there, which gives you a loop to play with or twiddle with, or these buttons you can, you know, whatever. So anyway, I'm hoping that my sister's bus kids will enjoy their new twiddle muff. I did give her one about 1.5 years ago, and she says that the student that plays with it the most really enjoys it. So I'm hoping this one will be equal fun for them as well, and she will be picking it up this weekend. So now you guys are able to see what I finished and did with this twiddle muff that I started for my sister. Okay, now my other finished objects. One thing I finished is this washcloth. I actually finished it. It's been at the shop. It smells like incense. But if you remember, this was a shell stitch. There we go. Shell stitch or fan stitch. I did actually go back a few pages in that pattern book that I have, and it does actually say shells and fan stitches. This is where this came from. So anyway, this is ready to go. It is, I folded it up, and it is a square. And I have all my ends woven in. I would like to do eventually a crochet along with me with this. It is Tunisian crochet. Really simple, really fun pattern to work with. I finished that. And if you remember, I had a hat on my hat loom. This is a child size, like I think 6 years plus. I measured it out. I finished this on the hat loom. This is done with an E-wrap, and I did the rolled brim on it and folded it up and then finished up the top of it. But this hat is done in an E-wrap. Now, I've been experimenting. The knitting looms and I have been getting along better. I've actually got another loom project started that I will show you here in a little bit. But we're getting along better. Actually, that hat was on the new loom that I got. Not on the old loom. That was on a new loom that I got. But it is, well, it'll fit. It would fit me, but I made it to be child size. Oh my goodness. Do not put hats on. Anyway, I finished that. And might as well just go on to the works in progress because they're sitting here in front of me, because I've got I've got several new items to show you. But if you remember my kitty cat hat, I have not made it very far at all. Maybe 2 rows. This is a navy blue on circular needles. Going to be an adult size kitty cat hat. I haven't worked on this a whole lot. Just I was more worried about getting that twiddle muff done. And the other project that you guys seen last week, which I have not even touched at all, is my hat on, whoa, It's gonna fall off my lap. My hat on the double pointed needles. This is a child size hat, and I'm actually following a pattern on this. I linked to that pattern last week. It's on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. So, like I said, I haven't even touched that, and I really haven't touched my other one. And the only new project that I've started is back on this loom again. Can't really see a whole lot, but I'm using this, I believe it's a Red Heart Mexicana, or Fiesta. Fuzzy, stay out of my stuff. She's checking out my bags. Anyway, I love this yarn, and you guys have seen, I've used this quite a bit for different things. But there's not a whole lot to see here right now. I've only done about 3 or 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. But I am working on, this one's not E-wrap. I believe it's called the True Knit Stitch or something like that. I can't tell you for sure, but anyway, just wrapping the yarn and then pulling it down and then putting it back on the peg. So the back of it looks more like an actual knitted project than what the E-wrap does. But this is going to be a dice bag. It's a work in progress. I have had some requests for some more dice bags for more gamers. So I grabbed that. I like variegated yarn, you know me. I don't like plain colors, they bother me. But anyway, that's all that I have, pardon me, for finished objects and works in progress. I only have 1 new work in progress, but I did finish 2, so I think I'm doing pretty good. Now, new items that I got this week. I went to check our flea market booth, and the booth that is like directly catty corner from ours is on the end, and the one that's on the end on the next row. Before we left on vacation, which I was trying to be good and not, you know, spending any extra money, but before we left on vacation, I noticed that she had a knitting loom in her booth. And I was like, oh, I want it, because it was $5, I think. It's like, I want it, but no, if it's still there when we get back, I will buy it. It was still there. It's this one right here. And this is the one I actually made this hat on. So I know that this will fit adult size if I do the E-wrap, because that's what I did with this. And it'll actually go on my head if it's tight. But it'll also make the child size hats, which that makes me happy. But I got this, and it also came with this book. I know that's backwards to you. But this is Beginner's Guide to Oval Knitting. And this is a Leisure Arts book. But it's got, and it actually, I guess it originally came with 2 different looms, because it's showing 2 different ones back here in the back. All I have is a smaller one, but that's okay. Now that I've, you know, got this, and it does have some cool patterns, I really like those. But it's got some basic patterns in here, and I love that hat. Oh my word, I love that hat. I'm going to try doing that, but I think I will try it on the bigger loom to make it adult size. But anyway, I got this book that came with this loom. Super excited, and I actually have used this loom. Super excited to make the orange hat. And also she had in her booth was this. Now this is the smallest size that comes in, I think, the set of 4, like to make a preemie size or newborn size hat. This was $2. So I spent a total of $7 and some change. Fuzzy, what are you doing? Stay out of my yarn. She's trying to get into my yarn tote. She's silly. Anyway, I spent about $7 on both of these. And I've decided, since I've used this one and my other one, I like the smaller pegs better, and I do not like the way this is with the, you know, the big head on it. It catches too much. So I'm having a little trouble with this, but I got it. I'll probably use it for something. I've got some extra pegs from the ones that I were given around Christmas time. I might try swapping them out or something like that. So there's my new looms. And I'm going to set these back here, Fuzzy, stay out of my looms. Another thing that I got, I was super excited, is if you remember oh, it's been probably about a little over a month ago, that my sister gave me some yarn, some blanket yarn, that she got it and she didn't know what to do with it. It was this. It's like a maroon and purple variegated. It's a thick blanket yarn. She gave me one ball of it. Fuzzy just ran down the hall. She gave me one ball of it and I was like, ooh, I need some more, because I knew I couldn't really do too much with just one ball. So she was actually able to get me 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So I've got this one and I've got 3 more that are in the little plastic. And I weighed one. I weighed this and they weigh 3.5 ounces. So I've got a total of 5 of these, so I'm thinking that I should be able to make a small blanket or a lapghan type blanket with this yarn. And I'm super excited about this. I have never had blanket yarn or anything like this before, and I am excited. So anyway, that's from my sister, and I got the knitting looms. And the only other thing that I got this past weekend, well, is this past week. I think it came in on Monday, maybe Tuesday, and I knew what was going to be in the package, but that's okay. I got this from Mary Maxim. I know that's backwards for you. It is the Crochet of the Month Club, which it'll probably be my last one. Nothing wrong with it, but I've been using PayPal and they sent a little note in with this that if I want to continue getting the Crochet of the Month Club, that I will need to use a credit card instead of using my PayPal. So that's the only reason I'm not going to continue at this point, is because right now I don't want to use the credit card to, you know, for a reoccurring payment. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with this or the last one I got. I'm perfectly fine with them. But this time around, came in this nifty little bag as always. There are 4 balls of this sugar and cream yarn, and this is the color Cottage Twists. That's what it says on there. I love this. It's like red and blue and yellow twisted together. I don't know if you can see that. Well, I got the light shining in here. But anyway, it came with 4 balls of this, and it came with this pattern for a crochet bag. I probably won't use the yarn to make the bag. The bag does not interest me, but I am excited about the cotton yarn. I love cotton yarn. Acrylic's okay, but I love cotton yarn. And I have 4 balls of this. So, you know how many washcloths I can make? Or I could make a hat with these. I mean, and it's variegated, it's not a solid color, so that makes me even more excited. But anyway, I will stash this with my other Mary Maxim box for right now, or box bag, and maybe in the future I will redo the Mary Maxim, but like I said, for right now I'm not really wanting to put a reoccurring subscription on the credit card. Just my personal preference. Nothing wrong with what I've gotten. So far I have been happy with both of the packages that I've gotten. So anyway, I do believe that is everything. Oh, and I've moved Bear. If you notice, he's not behind me anywhere. I've moved him over here. There he is. Can you see him? There we go. He's actually sitting in my moon chair, which I have temporarily put in that corner. Which I don't know if it's going to stay there or not. I know what I want to do. I think that wall might be enough. This wall right here by the door, I believe that is, ooh, I'm sorry guys, I'm not meaning to jiggle you around like that. I have a shelf that is at the shop that I think I'm going to put there, which will accommodate, you know, my boxes and bags back here. My yarn is in a Rubbermaid tote, so it can just sit on the floor. That will be fine. So get that up off the floor, and it'll give me more space in here because right now everything's sitting off the floor on a lounge chair. And then this corner over here, just the opposite of where Bear is, it'd be this corner right over here because Bear is right there. So the other side of the window over here, that's where I want to put my rocking chair. Pretty sure. I'll know once I get it brought up here and get stuff organized. And I'm hoping, because it's been really warm, we went straight, everybody's told us we needed to bring the weather back from Phoenix. Well, I think we did, but it took about a week for it to get here. But we jumped right from having 50-degree weather to upper 80s and 90-degree weather, just within a week of us getting back from our vacation. Now, I like warm weather. I'm not really complaining at this point, but we need more circulation. So hopefully tomorrow night, and if we are able to do it, we've got to run some errands tomorrow and might not be able to do it, but hopefully we'll be able to cut out the window like I want to cut it out. And if we do, then it'll allow more circulation upstairs. So that's the plans for what I would like to do in the craft room for this next week. I think that is all that I have. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you are not a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe. I do have another vacation video that will be coming out on Thursday. You don't want to miss that, because after this there'll be one more, because this will be the actual weekend part to where we were in Phoenix, Scottsdale area. Not a whole lot, but I do have some things to tell you, exciting things about when we were there. And then after that, probably starting in June, because like I said, this one and then one more of the travel videos, starting in June, I will probably use Thursdays for a crochet with me. So be watching for those. If you don't want to miss those, you might want to click the subscribe button. If you want to get notifications, click the little bell. That way you will be notified every time that I post a video. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you come back and watch my videos again, and I will see you all in the next video.